a doom and gloom kind of guy. I think what's borne out in the Brannan report around Canadian data, and I think what I'm seeing in customers, many in this room, customers have done a very good job over the last, businesses have done a great job over the last couple of years protecting against the threats that they've seen today. IDSs, firewalls, which is interesting in the survey that those are still top priority to spend. And I get that they might be a line item in the budget to maintain them, but I think where we need to go, because I think we've done a great job, invested in the right technologies to protect the assets that we thought were of value. I think those assets, the attackers, are now motivated by a different perspective, a different type of asset, a different type of game, and the technologies need to adapt and spend needs to adapt. There's money to be made with the value of assets or the theft of assets out there. And that is the real threat we need to deal with today. I mean, by any case, if we look at the economic climate today, I think Canada is doing all right compared to Japan, the United Kingdom, or even the US. The underground economy today has surpassed some legitimate economies around the world. The value of what was traded in the last 6 months of last year, the underground economy, was about $100 million worth of real tangible goods. The value of the total goods, advertised goods for sale, was $1.7 billion. Now that doesn't compare to a Canadian economy or a US economy, but look at a developing country or a smaller market country, and the underground economy is more prosperous. Is the value of the protection measures we put in place. They're great to protect the physical assets we want to protect. What are we doing to protect the real holy grail, which is the data and the information?
Canadians, a lot of Canadians believe that the total cost of security breach is less than $5,000. There was about 44% of the folks that committed our study that thought an overall breach would be less than $5,000. There's no way. If you think about the PR costs, the legal costs, trying to get customers back, getting the financial fraud involved, it's got to be a lot more than $5,000. When we look at the overall priority for IT security, there's been a downward trend as a top 5 corporate priority over the last 2 years. So last year, I think we saw, as a corporate priority overall, 80% said that it was, IT security was in fact a top 5 corporate priority. The year prior to that, it was around 88%. This year, it was down to 70%. So we're seeing a bit of a decrease there in terms of where the C-suite, if you will, are seeing IT security fall in the overall corporate priority ladder.
Canadian companies, the globe at large, have done a great job over the past year spending on technology to protect the infrastructure. Okay, now we need to turn our focus on protecting the information. And it's a different type of approach. It's still fundamentally underpinned by risk management, but it's a different approach. Classifying the information, segregating information, defining access controls or a hierarchy of who gets access to it. And businesses are lagging behind. The only industry or the only group that does a decent job, and I won't say the government at large, because the government does a pretty poor job at large, with the exception of the military and intelligence community. They do a good job because, as Andrew pointed out, and I think you borrowed that from our talk in Montreal, by the way, they do a good job because in the physical world, they are good at classifying information and assessing risk. So the same thing they've done for years, hundreds of years in the physical world, they've translated that into the electronic world and are developing the tools and technologies or buying them to make that transition.